Hello, today we're going to talk about Quadratics Completing the Square 2. The lesson that sounds like a movie title. Alright, you already know how to complete the square. It was in a previous lesson, but I'm going to go over it again. And this with a little bit different. So for these two, all I want to know is what is the constant that you're going to add? Alright, so by constant, what I mean is, what's this back number we're going to add on here? So, if you remember, our first step is always move the other number to the other side of the equal sign, which is not there, so we move on to the next step, which is step 2 usually, and that's b squared over 2. So what's my b? -3. So it gives me 9/4. So the constant I'm going to add at the very back is 9/4. I'll actually add it to both sides. And that's all I want for that one. All right, for this one over here, same thing. What is the constant I'm going to add? So I just moved to my b squared step. So my b is 2/3 over 2 squared. So I can simplify that down first. Why not? So 2/3 divided by 2, keep change flip. 2, 6. So that gives me 1/3, and then I'm going to square it to 1/9. All right, here is our next example. This one is harder because you have to a couple different things. One, you need to move this to the other side. All right. The other thing is I have a 5 here. I can't have a 5 here, so I need to divide everything by 5 to get rid of it. So it gives me x squared minus 7/5 x equals -2/5. And then I can do my b over 2 squared. So now my b is much more difficult now. So I get -7/5 over 2 squared. So now I have to do the same thing. So -7/5 divided by 2, keep, change, flip. So it gives me -7 over 10, and then I square it to give me 49 over 100. And that is what we would put in right there. I know it's a lot, but you're gonna have to do it sometimes if you want to keep doing completing the square. So I moved the 2 over, which I didn't really need to do, that's just for consistency's sake. Divide everything by 5, and then put that in my b, keep, change, flip. 7/10, square the top, square the bottom, -1 away. All right, for this one, I'm going to go all the way through and find all the answers. Find the zeros, if you will. So, step 1, I have to move the 7 to the other side. My next step is b over 2 squared. Squared, which is 4. My next step is I'm going to put it in the, add it to both sides. Which gives me 11. Next step is I'm going to simplify it down, this. So remember the number in the middle of my binomial. I take the sign of what's right here, because the negative times a negative will give me a positive, and a negative plus a negative will give me negative. So 2. So I just square root the back number, which is 4, and I get 2. So I get x minus 2 squared equals 11, and then I square root both sides. I get x minus 2 equals plus and minus the square root of 11. So that's my answer. You can also write it as 2 plus the square root of 11 and 2 minus the square root of 11 are my two answers. All right, and here's our last one. So we'll do 2x squared plus 8x minus 12. So since I have something else in the a, I have to divide everything by 2. So then I get x squared plus 4x minus 6. Move the 6 to the other side. So x squared plus 4x equals 6. Replace the b with the 4. Rewrite the equation by adding it to both sides. So 4 and 4, 4 and 4. And then break it down. So I square root the 4 in the back to give me 2, and I take the sign of the middle. Sorry if I'm going a little fast. There's a whole nother video over this if you need it. But you always just square root the back number, take the sign of whatever the b is. So x plus 2 squared equals 10. Square root both sides. X plus 2 equals plus and minus the square root of 10. So minus 2 from both sides. X equals negative 2 plus and minus the square root of 10. Or you can write it as negative 2 plus the square root of 10 and negative 2 minus the square root of 10. All right, this has been Quadratics Completing the Square, number 2. Hope it helped then.